to October 3rd Board of Selectmen's meeting. Could everybody please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to make a couple of, I don't want to call them housekeeping announcements, just a couple of announcements. Acknowledgements, we won't have them this month. We had some serious computer issues within the past week or so. And right now we're playing catch up and trying to get things that were lost. And so unfortunately we don't have acknowledgements. And actually I rolled two of them into one. I just want everybody to know that the minutes we have, same thing. I mean, some were lost on the computer that we had. So, and I know what Mr. Brown's thinking. 8.5 by 11. So I just want to make that announcement there. On the new business, first up, we have Steve Whitman from Moose Mountain Greenways on the conservation effort. Was asked to come and speak to us a little bit and kind of let us know what's going on. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I am Steve Whitman from Resilience Planning and Design, and I'm joined today by Moose Mountain Regional Greenway staff and supporters. And I think Patty Burns was going to say something to open, or?
Hi folks, I'm the Executive Director for Moose Mountains Regional Greenways.
Yep.
And here tonight are a volunteer, Peg Hurd, who also serves on your school board, Cynthia Wyatt, who is the chair of the Conservation Commission and longtime resident, lifelong resident, Kari, who is one of my staff. And I wanted to let you know that we are in the process of doing a conservation action plan that is Moose Mountain Regional Greenways, but we are looking to engage the community. We made a presentation in July to the Conservation Commission, and we did that with all 7 conservation commissions in our region, and including Rochester to the south, because they are receiving our water. So what happens here affects them for better or for worse, and we're hoping for better. One of the things that we're doing here is we've been a conservation planning group and action groups and education group since 1998, but we started holding conservation easements 3 years ago. And once we started doing that, we realized there's a lot of folks out there that are interested in knowing more about conservation easements and maybe putting them on their properties, but we had to learn how to prioritize which were the most appropriate to to engage us to move forward and look at closer. So we started looking at the possibility of a conservation action plan for the region. And what we're doing is we're asking folks to take their vision of this region and maybe lighten up the property boundaries a little bit in their mind, or the town boundaries in their mind, and see them as a little bit of a blur, because that's how the animals see them, and that's how the hikers see them. And we also opened up our conservation area planning process to far more than the traditional set of conservationists. And we want to include those who live, work, and play on the land and depend on our natural resources, from foresters and agricultural folks to trail users of various kind, horseback riders, as well as hikers, even ATVers. We want to hear what they use the trails for. And we had an historic and cultural focus as well. So we're pulling all those interests together, and we hired, after doing quite a bit of fundraising on our own, we hired Steve Whitman and his collaborator, Dan Sundquist, and the two of them are putting their heads together. We're going to have some really great regional maps just for our region, and we're going to have a plan, and we're hoping that Milton is part of the passion on that. So I'm going to turn this over to Steve.
Thanks, Patty. Thank you. Patty said all the important stuff, so I'm not going to repeat what she said in the interest of time. What I do want to do is give you a handout so that you can see the questions that I'm just going to ask you. And I'm just considering this the start of a conversation. So by all means, if things come up, and I'll leave you with a couple maps here too. If things come up after tonight, we still would love to hear from you. If you have additional thoughts, or if there are additional people that you think we should be speaking to, this project is going to be evolving through the rest of 2016 and through the first half of 2017. So it's not going to be wrapping up anytime real soon. Basically, as part of our outreach, we had this regional forum last week where we had over 70 people.
60 or 70, yeah.
Really well attended from across the region. I just brought this map in case questions came up, but just kind of showing the entire region. And there's Milton, really central to the New Hampshire side of this large geographic area. So you're really critical as part of the planning. And part of our outreach, and especially coming to see all of you here as local officials, is that we want to be informed by what you're thinking for your town, so we can have that feed into the plan. We're not trying to tell you what to do in your community. We're trying to be informed by what it is you're planning. So some of the questions I had here, some of them might generate answers right now. And if they don't, I'd be happy to hear from you at another time. But we'd like to get a sense of if you're aware of ongoing conservation projects that maybe include the Conservation Commission, or maybe are things you're aware of that are outside of the Conservation Commission. Does anything come to mind?
There was the town forest that we're considering putting some conservation easements on it.
Okay.
And Cindy was involved with that as well.
Yeah, the town actually voted this year,
Great.
the last vote, to place a conservation easement on that property.
Excellent. Anything else that comes to mind?
What was the size? 80?
78.
78?
78 acres? That's fantastic. And we can get the location from you on the
Sure.
map.
It's actually on there as unofficial.
You already sent it to Dan? All right, thank you. I shouldn't be surprised. Anything else under conservation or interests or priorities that have come up for the selectmen or the Conservation Commission?
No, we do have some, a list of potential conservation properties.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can share that with you at some point.
That'd be great. That would be great. How about infrastructure? Is there any kind of public water supply here in Milton?
Yeah.
There is?
Very limited,
Is it just here within the village, or?
Yeah.
pretty much.
Okay.
It goes up about as far as the fire station there, the new station, that's about as far as it goes.
Is there any plan to expand it, or?
It's not on the table right now.
Well,
Okay.
the thing with that is it's not controlled by the town.
Is it its
It's a
own-
ward precinct,
Okay. Got it.
so.
Mr. Chairman, there's also the water supply that went in on St. James Ave.
Yeah, you're correct. It comes under the lake, and
Okay. Thank you.
it does supply part of the water over to in the St. James area. But again, that's all controlled by the water precinct.
Okay. Any kind of larger scale surface water or groundwater issues that have come up in Milton over time?
I'm not aware of it.
Nothing comes
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
mind?
say, I
No.
can't think of an answer.
Okay.
Hmm?
The old dump.
The landfill?
Yeah.
I mean, the transfer station?
The
Lock-
one before the
Lockhart?
ballpark is.
Lockhart?
Yeah, that's being looked at right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to be aware of.
Yeah, and that's actually being looked at, being tested to,
Brownsfield.
Brownfield grant,
Okay.
and,
Great. Well, not great, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
good to know about it. Right, the fact it's being looked at is great. As Patty mentioned, we're really trying to expand the stakeholders. And you're gonna see, as we put out an online survey and do other things, we'll send word to you so you're aware of these things. But if you can think of any local clubs or organizations that are interested in trail development or other aspects of land protection or recreation that are active in Milton,
Who's that?
snowmobile club.
okay? Is it a
Snowmobile club.
specific club?
It's
Evergreen.
Evergreen Valley Snowmobile Club, yeah.
I think we've already got them.
All right,
And we sent them an invitation, but we can call them.
that's good. Anyone else come to mind?
We have a subcommittee, the forest committee.
Well, town forest committee,
Yeah.
it's part of the town, yeah.
All right,
We might be interested in.
Yeah.
great.
Unfortunately, it's just myself and one other
gentleman on the forest committee right now.
There was one resignation just recently.
We've lost everybody,
Yeah, everybody's kind of,
so. But we have potentially a plan for that, so,
Okay,
so we can move forward with that project.
all right. Well, if the excitement around this can help at all, just let us know.
Mhm.
If, feeding you information about what's happening with the regional project could get people excited about what's happening in Milton, we're open to
People are excited about it because we put it on a warrant article and
yeah,
passed
it passed.
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
big time, so.
Yeah, big-
Right.
We have a lake association,
Okay.
Right, I forgot about TPPA.
Reed Ponds Protective Association, very active.
Great.
And
And
they-
we have-
sure.
We had them on the
Okay.
list, yeah.
Yeah.
But just the presidents, so sometimes the word doesn't get out.
Right.
So we
Yeah,
have
one of
to-
the reasons we're here is to make sure that we're not missing
Mm-hmm.
significant groups of people or significant issues that you're aware of.
Right.
Um,
All right, before I watch that bead of sweat roll down your forehead any further, go ahead, you want to speak? I can see your hand going up and down, back and forth.
Yeah, major future structural issues would be the development and qualities and extent of the public water supply as a municipally owned and protected entity serving the entire township, with an assessment of the potential possibility and liability to the town's own concerns of a major bottler for what has been an award-winning stratified drift system. Secondly, it was pointed out some years ago that we could stand in danger of being, if the phrase makes any sense, quabbin two for downriver
Sure.
communities.
Okay.
So those are farther out issues.
Does anyone know, are any of those issues highlighted in your 2005 master plan?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And is the 2005 master plan your most recent? What do you do with the Regional Planning Commission?
The Conservation Commission is working with Stratford Regional
Hmm.
Planning Commission to update the natural resources chapter.
Okay.
I mean,
And
the whole
we-
thing's being
We haven't
updated.
addressed that, bottling, so we will. And we're just starting to wrap it up, so I will bring that up at our next workshop meeting.
So that chapter's being updated, but the whole
Master plan
is being updated right
worked
now?
on through the planning board, correct.
Okay, great. And is that towards the end, it sounds like? You said you were wrapping up your chapter?
Our part of it is,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
part.
sure where the planning board is on.
Planning board's still in the middle of it. I mean,
Okay.
it's been on the agenda for a few times and there hasn't been much happening, so.
Okay. This is great. Another aspect we're interested in is just thinking about the local food movement and farms or farm stands or contact people that are informed about farming in the Milton area. Does anybody come to mind or any key resources come to mind?
You have Mackenzie's Farm,
Okay.
of course, the Farm Museum,
Yep.
and what is the name of that
How about
bus? that
Airy?
can- Huh?
How about Airy?
Yeah, I saw that when I came to town.
Ari's Gold, yeah, Goldenberg.
Yep.
And there is a bus that goes from community to community that sells farm goods. Seacoast what?
Eat local.
Great.
Sam, right?
Yes, it's Sam's, I can't remember what the acronym stands for, it's called SAM, but they are wrapped up for the season, but they'll be back in the spring.
Okay.
What's the blueberry picking off Bolin Road? I can't say I've ever been down there because I used to go to Mackenzie's.
Mackenzie's, yeah, that's
Oh,
Mackenzie's.
is it owned by
Yeah.
Mackenzie's? Okay, all right.
All right.
Didn't know that, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think Steve is doing it, I think he's subcontracting out the harvester.
But at least it is being harvested though.
It is being harvested,
It's
but
not
not
his
by.
operation.
Okay.
So it's agricultural land
It's
that's
still
being
spotted on
used,
the map.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's the critical piece.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I say, what about Branch Hill Farm in Haying? That's an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crops are pretty critical nowadays.
Right. All right. One of the other questions we had for you, I think the last question really, was about development trends. We realized that the economy in New Hampshire slowed as far as development about 10 years ago. But has there been some level of development, and what type of development have you seen over the last 10
In
years?
business, yeah, we've got some
Business?
businesses growing in town,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We've had, Dunkin' Donuts move in,
and it's still on the
Dollar
rise.
General move in. We put a solar array on top of the landfill.
Okay.
And,
Lowell coming to out to 75.
Yep, got another gas station, truck stop on exit 17 area.
Okay.
The other side of the old Grace Marina is going to be 2 restaurants moving in there once they get that finalized, if they go through the planning process and meets all approvals.
All right, so those are pending.
That's pending.
Okay.
I mean, I see no reason why it won't, but you never know.
Sure. Okay, so primarily commercial and solar.
Mhm.
Okay. Great. We mentioned the master plan. Are there any other plans or studies that have happened in Milton that you think would relate to this regional conservation plan we should take a look at?
Well, there's another grassroots initiative called Tour Moose Mountains Region.
Okay.
I'm on that committee, and we've been meeting for about a year, and we're working on a website, and this website will highlight all the wonderful trail systems, and concentrating on sort of the eco and agro-tourism aspects of this region.
So it's kind of a visitor's guide resource.
It's going to be a visitor's guide resource, exactly.
Okay.
So I think that will, help bring in some tourism money
Sure.
to the 2 exits that we have.
Great. Thank you for that. Are there
And
other?
I gotta ask John this one, scenic byways, I know you were involved in that at one point, is that,
That's ongoing right now, still.
is it?
All the historical places being reviewed. That's Whitefield and Milton.
Yep.
So the resources are currently being reviewed, being
Yes.
updated?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So we have a scenic byway. It goes, that's this White Mountain Highway.
Right.
It's designated, which is great.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that state or federal?
Great. Any others come to mind?
I can't think of any. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know.
Like I said, we're really considering at the beginning of our
Our
conversation.
fire chief's got one.
All right,
Talk
good.
about wetland hazards and that type of stuff.
Yes.
All the wetlands that have been issues in the past are identified in the hazard mitigation plan,
Wonderful.
which will be updated this winter.
So is it about 5 years old? Okay. And is it available online or probably on Stratford's website?
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Okay.
If not, we can get you a copy emailed.
Okay.
I think it's on Ready Stratford.
Great. Excellent. Questions that you have for us?
Basically, I just wanted to hear what you had to say and what's going on, and
Sure.
I appreciate it, I mean, I really do.
Well, it's our pleasure to come over. We appreciated you being the first ones to host us. So we'll be going to 7 towns over the next 5 weeks. Can you think of anything else, any of you?
I know, I have just one. Oh,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Lady before gentleman. Go ahead.
I would just like to mention that on December 3rd, we're going to, MMRG will be having it's a mixer. We've had conservation commissioners from all our towns meet. And last year, it was brought to our attention that the conservation groups, the commissions of all our towns, really would like to see are, their planning boards and their select boards coming to the table. And so if you could just, you'll be getting an invitation to that, so if you could put it on your calendars now and think about joining us. Steve and Dan will be our presenters.
And we're calling it development with conservation in mind. So really hoping to engage the wider group within the towns that will be, and be informed by you as well as informing you.
And one of the pluses, if someone from Milton is there, the guy that makes these maps, it's not me, that's Dan Sundquist, and so he'll be there with additional map information and the data from behind it. And if you have questions about, even if it's related to Milton, there's some of the things he can query, and we can get back to you.
Okay. Do you know what time that is? December 3rd?
It's going to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To noon.
8:30 to noon on
8:30.
Saturday.
Okay.
Mhm.
Something will be sent out though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be in Sanbornville, the Opera House, and there'll be refreshments.
Probably in about 2 weeks we'll have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the only other, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Just thank you, Carol.
Okay, okay, yeah, the only other thing I was gonna say, unfortunately,
Yeah.
under, public water supplies and, is the town aware of any surface water, stormwater? Well, this really isn't pertaining to that, but unfortunately, we do have a European naiad growing in our ponds, our
Okay.
lake, so, that's kind of an important issue, and, hopefully.
Okay. No, it's great for us to be
Yeah,
aware
no,
of that.
thanks. I guess I might to talk about that, but
Is that mostly on the northeast pond? It's not really been spotted on the New
It's-
Hampshire side.
Unfortunately.
It has
it
been
is
spreading.
right now, yeah.
Okay.
And,
it's spreading and it's not being eradicated as easily as they thought it would be.
Right.
All right, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's a very important issue, and it's something that's not gonna go away, so
Right.
we have to think about our next step.
Right.
Because both states have done what they're gonna do for us,
Okay.
so now we're on our own,
Sure.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question, and
Yeah.
I should know the answer to this, but are you gonna be visiting planning boards too?
You visited conservation commissions.
Yes.
We're getting out to visit with boards of selectmen, knowing that there's a rep on the planning board. And in one town's case, the selectmen's meetings didn't work out, so they're gonna do a shared meeting at the planning board.
Oh, good.
But I think we're gonna be reaching out to all town boards in various ways. All right. Well, thank you for putting us first on the agenda.
You're
Always
very welcome.
appreciated.
Do you have any more copies of these?
I can actually email it.
Okay, 'cause
I'd be
I was
happy
gonna
to do
say,
that.
I have a planning board meeting tomorrow night, and
Wonderful.
I can bring that up to
Okay,
them.
I will
email?
send it.
Can you give
Yeah.
me my new email?
Oh, you have a new email?
Yes.
Don't you have it with me?
I can write it down.
Okay.
I can give you a card if it's easier.
Well, why don't you email?
Tom, you want this copy?
There's a couple.
Oh.
Do you?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
All my cards are
look at that. Getting all kinds of them now.
all my cards are well, so I'll just write on the back because of
Okay.
the issue. But that's one of the agenda items.
And I will bring these up tomorrow night at the planning board meeting.
Thank you very much. I'll
Yeah.
send that out tonight.
All right, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Where's the hyphen go? Where's the hyphen goes? I know top off.
This is a really new address.
Yeah.
It's
All
one
right.
of the agenda items. You'll have it.
Yeah,
All right, well, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
Thanks, then.
It's nice seeing you, Carrie.
How you doing?
Take care.
Thank you, Carrie. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, before I put you up next, I just wanted to make a statement about the non-public we had. Well, in non-public, we talked about tax issues and possible property acquisition. So, and the minutes were sealed indefinitely for the tax issues and 6 months on the property acquisition. So, just wanted that for the record, so it gets into the record, so. So anyways, Sorry to mean to step in front of you, but up next we have MetroCast representative here to talk to us about MetroCast. And his name is Mr. Edward Merrill.
Thank you, Chairman, Ward.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking me to come in. I'm here, I guess, basically to answer questions. When Heather called me, she said that there were some questions about the service that we have in the town. So I'm here to do that, and however you want me to present or talk or whatever, I'm here to do that.
I mean, unfortunately, there's not a big turnout here, but I've been getting a lot of complaints about MetroCast in town, the service. And so I asked Heather to put you on one of our agendas, hoping that more public would have shown up, because this is what they were really asking for, but it's nothing new.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's got to do with more or less the internet.
Yeah, I mean, so the issues are, they unfortunately, I mean, I wish they were here, but I'll speak for them. They're just saying the quality of the service is not worth what the bill is, what they're paying. So I said, so we'll get you in here and we'll talk about it. And then I guess some people had some issues with a little black box that they had to purchase to, I guess, get more channels or whatever it is. So that's really where we're at. I don't know if I hadn't really given you much to go on other than, well, the chief has something to say, but that's where we're standing, I guess.
I just want to say, in MetroCast's defense, the little black box that everyone had to purchase, MetroCast put that notification out many, many months ago, maybe even a year ago, and it was free if you did it when they first put out the notification. And I think you had a 6-month window where you could get that little black box for free.
Mm-hmm.
So if people didn't go and, if customers of MetroCast who got the bill and got the notification didn't go and get that box, that's really not MetroCast's fault. I know I have that bill on my personal account at home and received that notification. We received the notification at the police department. I think we have that box at the police department. So that one's really not.
Yeah, I don't know, unfortunately, I don't know much about it because I don't have the little black box. I have something different at my house. I mean, I have MetroCast, but.
I can take it from there.
Yeah.
Why don't you? First of all, what I'd like to do, if it's all right with.
Yeah, I just wanted to, Heather wants to say something.
I just want to say when I spoke to Mr. Merrill, he was very gracious, and he did say if we gave him addresses, he would go down to the street and figure out what the problems were. So he's willing to work with us on that, and so we just need to give him the information to solve the problem. So I think that's kind of where we are.
Thank you, Heather, and that's a good place to start. I've got a form here that's got my contact information, and if there's any customers that haven't been satisfied with the service that they're getting or the resolutions that we've come by, you can give them my contact information. They can email me, they can call me directly. My cell phone is on here, so that is available to.
It's dangerous.
I take calls from customers. And along with that, I can leave a stack of my cards so that you can hand them out. If there's an issue, we want to fix it. So, and I'm committed to fixing it. So they can contact me directly and I will work with them to make sure that it's resolved. So it's hard to talk about specific issues.
Right.
What I can say is, so would you, and it would be okay with me if you want to put this on your website for people to
Are you a
contact
mind
me?
reader also? That was my next thing. I was going to say, would you mind if we put it on the website?
Not at all. And so if there's any issues whatsoever, I'll get into some of the facts I brought for tonight, so we can just take a look at it. But I think the number one issue that we're seeing today with our internet service is our wireless service. And it's the same thing, the wireless service in people's homes. And if every wireless provider out there is dealing with the same issues, there's so many things that can impact wireless service inside the house. The numbers of devices, how they're set up. So we can go in and we can do our best to mitigate those circumstances. but there's, everybody that provides wireless service still has to, there still has to be a lot of technical improvement in order to make, the wireless work. The other thing that's really happened with wireless is that it's exploded in people's homes. Just a couple of years ago, there may have been 2 devices. Now there's up to 10 devices in a customer's home, whether it's wireless, their laptops or their tablets or their game consoles. So we're dealing with going in there and trying to identify those issues, and we will do that. So if there's a customer that has a problem, they can contact us. When I did get Heather's call, I did take a look at what our service issues looked like over the, to see if anything was increasing, if we really had any changes in our in the service calls we had for the town. And what I was able to do is print out year by year since 2013 the number of service calls that we get a month. You can actually see so far in 2016 we're about at the lowest average that we've been since 2013. And that's all service calls. It's not just our. I have a few left. Okay. It's not just our internet service, but our video service and everything. Any service that we include for any reason, if we're running out of truck, it's captured in these numbers here. So you can see that there really hasn't been any increase in the service calls that we've had for your town. In the last 4 years, it's actually gone down. Other than that, MetroCast continues to increase and invest in its services. Just this year, in January, we increased our highest residential speeds to 105 by 10, up from 75, and our next speed went from 25 to 35. So we keep increasing the bandwidth, we keep increasing the speeds, we keep increasing the channels that we provide our customers, the technologies we provide our customers, so we keep investing in the system. And along with those investments, we continue to replace, cable if it needs to be replaced, replace electronics if it needs to be replaced. So we invest millions of dollars a year back into the system to make it work. But so we haven't seen any real issues, and I think that really reflects it in what we're showing you as far as the service calls. But if we know customers and if we know areas, we can focus on those areas. Okay. But we have really good system monitoring equipment that can monitor right down to a customer's homes. And if there were issues out there that that was happening on a larger scale, we would know about it, usually before the customers know about it. So I'm here to answer questions or.
Not for you.
No, I mean, I appreciate you coming. We'll put.
Yeah, put that. I think having that form on the website and making it available. One second, please. I'm just saying. I just want to finish what I was going to say. That's all before I lose my train of thought. I said I think having your form available on the website and so on to the public would be a big help. That way, I think a lot of people, and like Andy said, it's too bad more people weren't here because I've seen some of those complaints, unfortunately, come across Facebook and that type of thing. But I think maybe if they're out there, they can do it themselves, and they just won't have to come to these meetings and do it. So I think that's.
And I will take responsibility for anyone that contacts me. So
yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Chief. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I was afraid I was going to lose my train, but I think I got it. It seems like a lot of the complaints are just the internet dropping off. So I guess my question would be, what would be expected for the internet to go down? Like how often? It must be a common occurrence. It must be routine or whatever, you know what I mean? And what could the causes be, and how wide, like if someone says their internet's down, how wide of an area could be affected by that?
Most of the time, it's within the house itself, and it's within, what we're seeing currently is the issues with wireless in a person's home and that dropping off. 9 times out of 10, we can go to our hardwire where we come into the house and check it, and the speeds are there and the service is there. So once customers start connecting to routers or connecting more equipment to it, it allows for more issues. But it's really, we don't have those outages. Most of our outages, if they're system outages, what impacts them is commercial power. Once we get hit by commercial, we have standby that allows us to stay on. But if we get hit by commercial power anywhere between our site and where you are, it can impact our customer service. But what I can say is we keep driving fiber optics deeper into our system, and that takes out all of the connections. It's a straight shot. It goes to a device that changes that to regular fiber, a regular RF cable, digital cables, and that's closer to the customer's homes. So we're trying to keep that now. We're pushing it out so that there's only 1 or 2 devices that is between our fiber optic cables and a customer's home. So that's going to reduce outages. That's going to reduce any interference in the system.
I just got a text message from somebody. They said their internet speed is 7.8 right now. I have no idea what that means, but there you go.
They're saying that.
See, that's live time.
Yeah, but it's hard for us to right now talk about what's causing that speed at their house from here.
Right.
So.
Appleby Road.
Yeah.
Service call.
Tom, then Chief.
You talk a lot about improving service, about how you're improving basically the infrastructure, keeping the infrastructure up to date, modernized. What is considered to be good industry standard quality of service, level of service, uptime percentages or whatever, and what is MetroCast's number for that? Whether it's a percentage of uptime, like cell phones, it would be like number of drop calls. But so what would be the measure, and how does MetroCast compare
we
there?
do measure our outages, and we have to live up to FCC standards, which we actually have to test for twice a year, and we have to send those results in. Tests for end of the lines, tests for leakage in the system. So there's standards that the FCC puts out there for cable systems that we have to send in and we have to live by if there's an issue. And FCC people can come out and test if they think that there's an issue within the system. So we have the standards, technical standards that we have to live by. That's part of a law and part of the FCC requirements.
And again, what would they be, and what are, like if it's not 90, you need to be 95% walnuts, and are you 97% walnuts? What I'm trying to understand is how much better it's industry I'm in. We can say that we meet ANSI standard, and I can tell you, if we just tell our customers we meet ANSI, they're not going to buy a thing from us.
I don't have those standards here, but I know that our outage times are 99.9 something, as far as our uptime. So it's we're not trying to get by, because we will lose customers. Customers do have a choice. So no, we meet those standards, and we continue to invest in them to be able to make the system more reliable.
Okay, I would like to comment. I appreciate, I believe the system here was installed from a grant from MetroCast.
Correct.
To record
It was, correct.
Record the meeting, so I'd like to.
Yeah, so thank you for that. Yeah, that's, bring it. Chief?
How would you tell people to, I guess they can debug their own system? I know most people, I can tell you right now, at my house I have 15 items that are wireless, so I already know when my internet starts to slow down, we have way too many items hooked into the router. Same with the police department. We have a large draw on the internet for our routers, so we know when things slow down, we have too many things drawing on it. How can you tell people so that they can do a debug of their own house and say, okay, figure out how many items they have on there, shut most of them off, and then check your speed, things like that?
We are, if you go to our website, there's the basic things to look for as far as your system is concerned. Because wireless is becoming such an issue, I'm not a technician, but I've been trying to catch up. And there are just so many sites and so many different providers that you can go on any one of those sites, Verizon or Comcast or any of the other sites, and they go in, they have many pages on things to look for and things to do to improve your wireless internet service within your home.
Because I think that's what most people are going to find.
Yeah, I think that's what we're finding.
Yeah.
At our house, we have 17 items, like I was counting up, and last night my husband went on and turned on a TV in another room. And that wouldn't have been a big deal, but it knocked out the signal in my room. So when I was watching it, it kept turning the channel, and it just kept last night. So it was not a fun night, but I
That was
see
probably
what you...
intentional.
Thanks.
You'll learn, you'll learn.
But it was about 9 o'clock that's what was going on, so I could see how that would happen.
Yeah. Tom?
To sort of get away from problems and things, where do you see MetroCast going in the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 years? Particularly in terms of like cable television. You know, I know many people now are going to streaming their television content, getting away from the cable box to, you know, the channels that are offered from, you know, ABC, NBC, all that. Where do you see, where does MetroCast see that going in 3, 5 years? You understanding like Google having their initiative with basically the Google box that you would stream your media through to your TV, getting away from the set-top box, the digital box that we have now.
I think more and more people are gonna go to get their video from the internet, because right now the way that we're forced to package our programming is driving the costs up incredibly every year. So the internet video providers provide more choice, so this is what we're doing right now. We continue every year. We don't wait for a franchise renewal. We continue investing in the system, and we are now in any new area that we're building out. For instance, in Barnstead, there's an area that wasn't served, and so we're going in and we're building fiber to the home now. So as we rebuild our systems, as we build new areas out, it's going to be fiber to the house. Fiber is going to give you a bigger pipe into your house, and you're going to need it for all of the different things that you're going to need. So we see the infrastructure for internet and bandwidth necessary. You may not be getting your video from us, but you're going to need the pipe going into the house to get the bandwidth in order to get your video from someplace else. So we're looking at that. And so other things that we're looking at, we are looking at a gateway product. If anybody has a Comcast cable, they have a system that's called, I think their X1 Infinity product. We're now testing a box, which is basically a box that your modem works off. All your equipment in your house will work off one box going into the house, and you'll be able to go either wireless into another room with another box and not have to hook it up with cable. We're testing all the new technologies. Our corporate office likes to say that we're not on the leading edge because we don't want to bleed, but we're a smaller company. But we're following. Once proven technology gets out there, and once prices come down for that technology, then we're providing it. And I think that you can see that if you just take a look at everything that we've put into place, especially in the last 9 years, just continuing to roll out new products and new technologies as we go. We're gonna continue. You're gonna get the same service. As a matter of fact, our 105 megabit service for our top residential providers, one of the fastest in the state and in the country. So and we have it for our customers in small towns like Milton.
Okay. Do you know of any areas in Milton that are not being?
I think that we have just about everything. I don't have the map here, but I'll check it for you. In most of our towns, we have, if we build down to 10 subscribers a mile, and then there's a formula for anything below 10 subscribers a mile for them to contribute for us to build.
Okay. Now, I know our contract is coming due in 2018.
That's right.
And would you be the person that we would be dealing and negotiate with on the contract?
I would be one of the people.
One of them? Wow.
I will be your local representative
Okay.
for MetroCast.
Okay. That's one of the reasons I was asking about where, I'd be interested in seeing that map before
Yep.
that.
You should have one, but I will make sure you get a copy.
Okay.
I'll make sure you get an updated copy.
All right, I appreciate that.
We have some very old files, but I couldn't find anything
Yeah.
recent.
I can get you a copy of it all.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Yes, Chief?
What's an acceptable wireless home network speed? Like if everything's done right and working correctly, you have a good router, how much does that get reduced down from?
It's not going to be the same as you would right off of a hard wire. But I couldn't tell you what expected. I just went to the Rochester public hearing for our franchise renewal, and 2 people on the Rochester cable committee said they checked before they came in, and both those people were getting 105. So, but it depends on what's in the, what the whole setup is in the house, and things like walls, where the wireless modem is placed within the house, all that affects the service throughout the house.
Interesting.
Well, I think it's nice to hear that he's concerned, or MetroCast is concerned about the quality of service to Milton, and they're willing to work with us. So.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom.
I think one last question. I'll probably think of more as we go on. Do you have any idea about how many subscribers are in Milton?
I do.
Just curious. Are we talking 50 or are we talking 18,000?
If we're talking 18,000, there's a bunch of imports.
Okay, so we passed 2,265 homes with our cable system in the town of Milton. We have 1,533 customers, and that could be customers for anything, whether it's a customer for cable or internet alone or both. We have a total of 1,533 customers. And we have 79.62 miles of plant. Our franchise was issued, our last renewal was issued in 2008 and is due on May 19th in 2018.
Are they normally 10 years?
10
Yes.
years.
Okay.
It allows us to continue to invest without worrying about, how long we have to return on, the investment that we do. It allows us to bring in new technologies without waiting for the next franchise renewal period.
Understand.
Now, I do have a question. I'm just playing as devil's advocate here for a second. Say a competitor came in and wanted to bid on the franchise. Would all your equipment have to come off the poles and they have to start anew, or is it transferable?
No, the difference is, so our franchise is a franchise that we have, and it's going to continue until you don't renew our license. And then there's in the FCC, there is certain reasons that you have to deny a renewal. If we're not living up to the terms of our license, if we transfer the license, they're pretty well spelled out. This is a non-exclusive franchise. That's nationwide. No one can issue an exclusive franchise. So if there was somebody else that wanted to come into here and provide cable service, the only thing that you would be responsible for, the town would be responsible for, is that the franchise are significantly the same. They can't be different. It's called a level playing field. Right. And you could issue as many franchises as you wanted in a town. In a lot of the communities around here where TDS provides service, TDS is now going into towns where we also provide service and getting video franchises. Now, the franchises only regulate the video portion of a cable company's service, not the internet service or the telephone service. So TDS had areas where it was providing internet and was providing telephone service, but to provide video service, they had to go before the select board and get a video franchise. Alton, Farmington. So in those areas where any area that we're in and other companies are in, where they have cable on the poles, they're going in now and asking for a video franchise. And the only thing the select board had to do was make sure that there was no significant differences between the franchises. So they're not exclusive.
So the equipment on the pole would work with someone else?
No,
we
would still be here.
Right.
You wouldn't kick us out unless.
No, I understand that, yeah.
So they would provide their own equipment.
Okay.
And they have their own
Gotcha.
cable right now on the poles in those areas where they provide service. The only thing that keeps this system in the small communities is the cost for the infrastructure. And that's really based on density. You'll see that the areas, the cities that have high density you're gonna have more competitors.
Right.
The rural areas without them, you have to wait for, you know, in most cases, the telephone company that's providing service in that area to also start to provide video service. And that's happening in New Hampshire.
Okay, that was my question, yeah, thank you. Anyone else? No? So, all set, guys?
I'm all set, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Mr. Merrill, here's my card. Would you be willing to send me some of the information over to?
And please feel free to call me or give my information to anyone, because I
All
will
right.
talk.
Thank you for
Thank you.
Very much, appreciate that, thank you. Okay. Up next, we have a discussion concerning computer issues in the town hall. And as I said, beginning of this meeting, we've had some pretty serious issues this past week. So,
That's what we got hit with. That's the ransom.
oh, okay. You want me to read this?
Well, you don't have to, but you could.
Basically, what we got hit with was a ransom virus that locked up our system, and unless you paid a ransom, they were going to basically either delete it or lock it up totally. I'm not sure how it works. I'm not a computer expert by any stretch. Luckily, thank God, we back up regularly. So we did have a backup. We lost the days and things that weren't backed up, you know, that during that day were lost. So one of the things we are faced with now is what do we do? Have you guys seen this? We're faced with now is what do we do? We are back up and running, just so everybody knows. But, you know, the question came, do we get a new computer? Do we get a new hard drive? Or just what? So that's where we are.
Right now, I believe the computer's being investigated, the actual computer where it came in.
Okay,
It suggested we get a new hard drive for that.
okay. Your actual computer is being investigated by,
Organization.
okay. So, okay, do you have any pricing on hard drives or,
He said $300 to $400.
okay, we need to get a call from them so we can get a,
Is that DJ?
yeah.
Because he said it could, that particular virus
Yeah.
could hang out somewhere.
Right, one of the reasons, just for people at home and people hear that, is one of the reasons we're considering going to a new hard drive or a new computer. Looks like the hard drive may be the way to go. Is this virus, even though it's wiped, could be sitting dormant somewhere, and it could be anything that triggers it to kick off again. So with the amount of information that goes through this office, it's not worth the risk.
And it could infect the others, the
Yeah.
server and everything else, which is what it started. We caught it in time.
We did.
Yep.
It was lucky.
So if you
And he has a plan moving forward.
I think we need to talk about that. I mean, we've changed the email address that it came to. We're being very guarded about what it came in on, but other towns were hit last week. We were not the only one. So it's an ongoing problem, and it's gonna be an ongoing problem statewide. I've talked to IT people, but I mean, I think we need to talk about what we can do. DJ seems convinced that if we put a new hard drive in it, that it should end it. Other towns I know have been hit twice, so I guess, you know, there is the question of, do we do something else? Do we not? Do we start with the hard drive and see where we are? Oh, yes. DJ does want to come in on the 17th and talk to the board.
Okay, so can you have him get us pricing between that quote between now and then?
Is he saying $300 or $400 for just the hard drive?
That's what he's saying. Yeah, I know, that was my look too.
Yeah.
Well, seeing I just replaced 2 hard drives at the police department for under $200, that's kind of way out the window for that price.
So maybe we need to get more than one quote.
Might be labor, but
Yeah,
Thought
it's,
you have a contract with
I
them.
thought he was in around $280, but right off the top of my head, I'm,
He said,
Contract mostly covers maintenance and that
Right.
sort, but anything other than that, like repairing a hard drive or something, is cost beyond the contract.
So maybe with labor it costs that much, but
right.
just the hard drive itself,
that's the quote he gave me, but it was just, off the top of his head. He said a whole new computer, he said you might need that, he said for us, but then he went back to the hard drive, he said it was 1,000, which, again, I thought was high.
That's pretty high, yeah.
But he said it's a beefy unit.
Yeah.
well, he just beefed it up too.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He had just increased it, the
Mhm.
size of it and everything, so he just got done within, 2 or 3 weeks of doing that.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
we need to get some quotes from him and possibly from others as well.
in building the budget, we also have to talk about whether we should get quotes from other service providers too.
Yep, yep. So, I mean, yes, Chief?
it should be known too, Mr. Chairman, that the ransom virus isn't a virus that is just gonna get into your system because it looks like something somebody clicked on something they weren't
Right.
supposed to be, or on a website they weren't supposed to be on. The ransom virus actually looks like an email that you were expecting to get. Sometimes it's a FedEx one, or a Western Union, or a UPS, it's a fake UPS one, or it's something from somebody else's computer that was already infected by it, and they send you an email that you're not expecting, and you click on it. When you click on it and open something, it's in your computer, and usually it's running in your computer for 3-4 hours before you even realize that something's wrong. When it does get into your computer and you realize that something's wrong, you should unplug it from the server. Either unplug it direct from the wall, the power from the wall, or at least just unplug your connection that runs from your desktop computer to your server. That way, it'll keep it locked into that singular computer and hopefully won't jump into the server. This virus has been
Yeah.
around for a very long time.
Yeah.
A lot of places get hit by it. It's not it's not one of those viruses that somebody's doing something wrong. It's in there, you double click on it, you open it up, and now you're stuck.
It looked like, I think in this case, it looked like what, a UPS?
It came in Federal Express, and I'd had one a week or two before that, and I said, there's no way that the postal or UPS or the FedEx is going to notify us by email about anything, so they should not be opened.
Yeah, unless you set it up, because some
Right, but
FedEx
yeah.
and UPS will send you text messages or
Right.
email
Sometimes they will,
notifications,
yeah.
but unless you set it up,
Right.
and you're expecting a package that you knew you set up, don't open it.
Yeah,
Well, I think in ours, we're having trouble delivering to your town hall with
Right.
a message.
and it's like, no way is that accurate. And luckily, when she opened it, she shut her computer right down, and he thinks that's what stopped it from going any further with anybody else, so she did a very smart thing with it, so.
But
I might ask, are you certain that the virus didn't get backed up, especially if it came in with email? Is DJ certain that it is not present on the
Yes,
backup?
he's gone through
Okay.
the server, yes.
Really be terrible to
Yeah,
Yeah.
to work.
good point, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of that. I know, Larry, 8.5 by 11.
No, this is out of my depth, except the words and the idea. From what you were saying, the corruption was on A and is capable of transferring to all the letters of the alphabet.
Correct.
Which means that Z or X or M could go back to A and start basically a loop of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So the questions then is what protocols and what standard operating procedure and what checkoff list can your technical expert
Yeah.
provide in terms of segmentation, compartmentalization, a discrete time packet of use, which would be the backup, the severability of content, the reduction of convenience, so that you do not have the crosstalk between units, and those sound like things that that should be part of a review of the system from the technical end.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I mean, unfortunately, that stuff is over my head. I know Kathy's been dealing with DJ since this happened. You want to answer that, Kathy, or?
Well, and there's different types of programs you can put on there to protect your computers. Nothing is 100%. Backing up constantly, backing up off-site. Rich, you want to elaborate on that?
Well, and most of that is already, most of what you're talking about, Mr. Brown, is already built into it. You have firewalls built into the system. When you have a server-based system and internet or emails can come into a singular computer built onto that server, you're going to have that risk that it flows back into the server. Your backups have to be off-site, and if your backups are off-site, then normally your backups won't be corrupted. And if your backups are not corrupted, you can go back to that point. So if your backups had started the night before at, say, midnight, then you get the virus at 9 a.m. If you can shut that computer down and stop it before it backs up again at midnight, you just have to wipe your computers and go back to midnight. So you lose a day worth of information into the computer, but losing a day is better than losing all of the information
Correct.
altogether.
And that's basically what happened. We was backed up at 10 p.m. the night before, and it was 8:37 that it came in on the computer.
The only other big thing we lost is everything on the desktop, which some
Right.
places have said, well, you know, now I'm not saving anything desktop. Other people I've talked to said, oh, well, their computer people say you can back up a desktop. So it's just, I think it just matters who you talk to.
And the firewalls aren't going to protect everything. So once you open it onto a computer desktop, you've allowed it into that computer. So once it's allowed into that computer, if it's got a direct line to the server, the firewalls are not going to block it many times.
And the next morning, when we got everything we're up and running again, I got another one. I got another same email. So we changed the email address. But I will tell you, it was addressed so that to other town administrators and myself so that we would open it because it would look like something we would do. We would get. We're having trouble getting something to your town hall. So why wouldn't you open that?
So moving forward, I think we need to, make a few changes. We do have backups, but the backups are here in the building. And we have discussed it, and we want to make sure that we start having them off-site.
Some of the more technical things that people have to watch for on the emails is when you have a folder that's in there. If it's .zip or things like that. If it's .zip, then that means there's a program attached to that. If it's an invoice coming from somebody else, .zip is not what it's going to look like, because .zip means that it's a package that is, it's a folder that is shrunk down and is a very large folder. Once you open that very large folder, you just started your own headache. But invoices and things like that aren't going to be attached that way.
Yep. So. Okay.
So DJ would like to come on the 17th.
All right. If you can get him on the 17th.
He's already said he could make it.
Okay. Just make sure he's on the agenda schedule, and you can talk to us about that, and possibly you can talk to us about going forward as far as what he can offer and that type of stuff.
Yeah, we need to renegotiate the contract anyways.
Yep. So it's time to renew contracts. So with that, as with any contract, we will go out for bid and see what it looks like. I mean, understanding that we don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. In other words, we don't want to just get the lowest bidder and find out we got more headaches than we started with. So I just wanted to update everybody on where we are with that. Up next on the agenda, we have the resignation, unfortunately. Two. Okay. I'll read them here. Dear Selectmen, please accept this letter of resignation from the Milton Forest Committee due to personal reasons, and this is from Colleen Bissett. Someone will make a motion to accept it with regret, or how do you feel?
Yeah, unfortunately, with my deepest regrets, because she was a huge asset to the forest committee.
All in favor? Aye. And again, with regrets. And the next one is her husband Rick Bassett, and it's due to my work schedule change and personal reasons, I must resign from the town forest committee effective today, August 22nd, 2016. Respectfully, Rick Bassett.
And once again,
Accept the
Was he still the chair?
yes, he was.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have okay, yes, we do have another resignation. This is our recording clerk that we had here at the last meeting, Cam Thing. And it's due to availability problems, I feel as it'd be best if I resign from my position as recording clerk for the town of Milton. I will be by to return the equipment as soon as possible, which he has done. And so have a nice day, and thank you for the opportunity. And this is from Cam Thing.
I will accept his resignation. Only here one night.
Second.
All in favor of that? Aye.
I will say, Mr. Chair, if anybody is interested in the Town Forest Committee, there is 2 of us left on the committee. We're working hard on that project up of Casey Road. If anybody is willing to, jump in, we'll accept.
Yes. No? Okay. What do we get now?
That's the next thing on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Just handing me stuff.
Just handed me papers and here, read this. We got a request for approval for bake sale. Approval for bake sale and request for donation from the Durgan Fund. So we're going to do the bake sale first.
And then the Durgan Trust.
This is, we have a group asking to use, what name? I can't read the name.
One second. Didn't take the form.
Asking,
Restoration fundraiser, townhouse. Approval for the big sale at townhouse.
I was trying to read the name down.
Oh.
John, do you know?
Well, John's here.
John Catwick.
It was me.
That's your writing?
It's John's.
Thank you. I couldn't read your signature,
That's
John.
okay. I understand.
It's John's.
Okay, so we got a request for approval for open house and bake sale at the townhouse on October 8th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for restoration fundraiser.
Motion, Tom.
I'll make a motion to approve this request for use of the townhouse for this purpose.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Sorry, John, just couldn't read your signature. Okay, next one, we have a request for a donation from the Durgan Trust Fund. And I'll read this. I'm writing to you on behalf of the athletic department of Newt Middle and High School. We are extremely excited about the progress of the new softball field. The softball field located behind Milton Elementary School is going to be a jewel for the town and school district. There has been some tremendous amount of work already accomplished at this point. The athletic department is seeking a donation to assist with the financial responsibility of providing a betterment for residents of the town. This field will be a pride and joy for years to come for students, athletes attending Newton Middle High School, and for recreation with the town as well. We are seeking a donation of $500 from the Durgan Trust Fund. And this is from Jane Weymouth, Director of Athletics, Newton Middle School.
I talked to Karen Brown, Mr. Chairman, and there's well over $5,000 in that account as of today. So there is $500. This trust was was set up to benefit anything in the town of Milton, for the town. So this $500 would, you know,
Okay. Now, is this trust set up where the only thing we can touch is the interest?
yes, and
This.
that's what there's 5,000
In interest?
in interest.
Okay. All right.
So- So if you need a motion,
I need a motion.
I will make a motion to. I'll make a motion to give $500 to the new softball field from the Durgan Trust.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approved. Okay. This isn't on the agenda. Want to do this now or on the
I was
other
gonna do it-
business?
Whatever you wanna do. I don't care.
I don't know if you got a copy of that or not. I was emailed out and I printed them off at home.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Basically, I'm going to do this now, even though it's not on the agenda. We could do it on the other business, but I just figured I'd throw it in here now. This is addressing the dilapidated building next to Cumberland Farms, the barn. We asked our attorney to look at it and write up, and I'll just read you what it is. It's an order, and hazardous and dilapidated. In dilapidated buildings, RSA 155B3, and it says to the unknown heirs of Lorette Collins, owner Norman A. Collins, occupant, and gives the address of 565 White Mountain Highway. And it's upon information presented by the Milton Code Enforcement, Milton Code official, it has been determined by the Milton Board of Selectmen that bond located on the property described above is collapsing and in such a state of disrepair that it cannot be repaired. The Board of Selectmen find that the barn is in danger of falling on a neighboring property and that it is a hazard to others. Photographs of the barn are attached to this order. They will be once they go to the individual. 3 notices have been mailed to the property advising the occupants of this condition and ordering on the condition to be abated. There has been no response. The Board of Selectmen finds that the barn is beyond repair and that the only remedy is for the barn to be raised and the debris removed from the property. Therefore, you are ordered to raise and remove the barn within 30 days of the date you were served with this order. Further, all debris will be removed from the property and lawfully disposed of in the state of New Hampshire approved landfill. If you fail to raise the barn and remove the debris as ordered within the time frame set forth above, the town will file a motion for summary enforcement with the Code Circuit Court in Rochester. And then it goes on to say, if you consent to this order, you may file. If you contest this order, I'm sorry, not if you consent. If you contest this order, you may file an answer within 20 days of the date of the service pursuant to RSA 155B:6. Please note all costs, attorney fees, and expenses incurred by the town in bringing your property into compliance may be enforced as a lien against the property and any other property owned by you in the state of New Hampshire pursuant to RSA 155B:9(2). So, we're going to need a motion to approve, or what have you. Did you want to get that corrected before?
Yeah,
This is just on page 1.
I know, I think we've signed the other ones. This is what came from the attorney, though.
Is it just a typo?
It's a typo.
Typo,
So next condition, we'll approve it with the,
typo condition.
yeah,
It's right there. There's something old missing.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
that's all.
Instead of putting it off again until like.
All right, yeah, no, I wasn't going to play it off, but yeah. Motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move forward with the hazardous and dilapidated building at 565 Mountain Highway, Milton, Stratford County, New Hampshire, tax map 44, lot 117.
Pursuant to RSA 155B, right?
Yes.
Second on it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For the original?
That's the last page you're gonna have to do with that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Up next, approval of minutes.
Good, Andy.
Okay, you wanna start off with
Let's
the,
start with September 12th. And as I stated, on the agenda, it doesn't say non-public or public, so just, as you can just read it from the document itself.
okay, so September, you guys read them?
Yes.
Okay, September 12th, 2016, meeting minutes. Is everything all set?
Non-public or public?
Public.
Public, okay.
Just mention that the typos will be corrected.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
There's no reason to stop it.
right, no, I agree with that. Second, Mike?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and 2012
In
non-public?
2012, non-public, meeting minutes. You guys read them?
Yes.
Everything's all set?
Again, some typos, it'll be fixed.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to accept these minutes, as previously sealed.
Correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one is, the Milton, non-public, Board of Selectmen's meeting for September 19th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And these will be,
As previously sealed?
yeah,
will they-
I was just looking to see,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, as previously sealed.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's get those back first and move on to the expenditure report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Expenditure report. First off, you guys see anything that jumps out at you that's out of place? I didn't look at that when I looked at it.
Last time I looked at it at the budget committee meeting, there was anything that jumped out at me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess the only question.
You know what, you keep in mind too, and I think that Mr. McGougall on the budget committee had mentioned that, what percentage are we at?
36.7.
It doesn't include the warrant articles. It comes out to around 51% with the warrant articles included.
Okay, are the warrant articles in this budget though? They are listed in the, okay, all right. That's what I was gonna ask.
They just haven't been taken out.
Taken out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That answers that
That's a
question.
good-
I was gonna ask
good-
why we're only 36%.
That's good, good point.
Good catch.
It's still doing all right.
Huh?
Still doing good though.
Yeah?
Considering we're in October.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Good. Anything you wanna say, Heather?
No, I was very pleased.
Awesome, good. Okay, up next, administrative comments.
I got my first department head report. They really aren't due till next month, but or later actually on this month. But We have one department head who wants to be an overachiever and sent it in early. So thank you, Betsy. And so Betsy reported that the library's been busy for the month of September. The rest of the department heads will be getting in their monthly reports by the 10th, and so you'll have them for the second meeting of the month.
Okay.
We've been working on the budget. We kind of ran into a little bit of an issue last week with all the computer crazies, but we are working on that. I'm trying to get the finances in order. We've had several department head meetings just to talk about how we're going to make the budget work. One of the issues we really focused on last week at the meeting was the cleaning, because with the new building and just how we're going to address the cleaning issue overall. And should we address it individually through the different departments, or should we address it as just where it is now? So we've been trying to work together to talk through those issues. I provided you with, we're talking about doing new financial policies because we need to get those in place. I provided you with a draft of a cash receipts policy that hopefully you had a chance to peruse. We need to have several policies in terms of finances. We really need to get them in place. So this would be the first one to look at. I caught something. This came from, I went to several towns to ask for help. Then I got some from not only several towns, I got them from New Hampshire Municipal Association. And then I also, Joanne, our finance director, also provided me with some. This is not from Joanne, this is from one of the other towns that was actually recommended from the Municipal Association to use because it was similar in size, this policy.
This one here.
Right.
No, why does it get Joan Smith's signature on the last page?
Who? No, I think that's her. That's her report. Just her report with the back of it. Because that had to do with it. No, the last page is page 3. It's a 3-page.
Okay. I was gonna say it's.
No, that had to do with that other report she did. But this has to do with petty cash,
Gotcha.
and cash and regular deposit procedures and purpose. We needed to really get policies and procedures in place, and so we need to start pecking away at those so we can get this all done and taken care of in an orderly fashion.
Okay.
So I was kind of hoping you had a chance to look at that.
Okay, I haven't read it yet. I looked it over quickly. I know one of the suggestions from town council was that it go to department heads for their own input, see what their thoughts were. Did we do that yet?
Nope, because I just did it at the end of the week, but I was going to share it with them anyways.
Okay, yeah, so.
But I wanted to share it with you guys first because we met tonight.
Yep, appreciate that. So if you could just kind of make sure it goes through them and we'll,
I think the chief will like this policy. Has some of the ideas he actually suggested.
okay.
Yeah, actually, you'll have to get that to me.
Oh, okay, it was in your packet. You didn't get it?
Let's see it. But
I'll get your copy.
I'm like, hold on, yeah.
This draft?
Yeah.
I think I see the back of it.
Yeah, I think it's probably in there. It's just,
All right.
it's just,
We'll
it's
look
stapled,
for
it's
it.
stapled with a bunch of other
All right.
things. It's kind of.
Your agenda.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. I'll get it.
So yeah, if you could, and by the next meeting,
By the 17th.
Yeah.
I might have another one. Do you want me to show it to the department heads first?
yes, please.
Okay, then I'll
Yeah,
show it to the
and that way,
department heads
that way we
and
can
the
get
board.
their input in and
Okay.
see if it
Because
makes
we'll have a
sense.
department head meeting probably by the 17th again. I'm gonna drive them crazy, but being that it's budget time, I really do need their input. Sorry, guys.
Okay. And next,
That's all I had.
okay,
That's all I had.
okay. Selectmen's comments, Andy.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. The seniors will be holding, no, actually, the seniors will be going to Freiburg Fair tomorrow. There's still openings if anybody in town is interested, 10 seats. I think the bus leaves here tomorrow morning around 8. So, if, I'm just throwing it out there if anybody's interested in going to Freiburg Fair with the seniors. The Recreation Department is in the process of setting up a basketball clinic like they did last year. This was a big hit. So Karen Brown says she'll have more information for us on that basketball clinic, the next Board of Selectmen's meeting. She's just working on it right now, but I just wanted to throw it out there because I know that the kids really enjoyed that. There's a spaghetti dinner, October 12th at 6 p.m. All proceeds will directly go to the new ball field. That's being built behind the elementary school. So to date, we have raised $50,000, and we approximately need $80,000 to finish the ball field. So there'll be some more fundraisers, I'm sure, coming down the pike, but this is the next one. So it'll be October 12th again at the high school. Spooktacular is Saturday, October 22nd at the town beach from 5 to 8. We still need some volunteers for cars, if anybody's interested. This is I've done it once. I'm going to do it again this year. It's fun. It's a fun night out for the kids, and it's safe. It's a safe night for everybody to come down to the Milton Town Beach and do called Trunk or Treat. So that's going to be on the 22nd of October. And then the traditional door-to-door trick-or-treating is the 31st of October from 5 to 8. So that's when trick-or-treat is in Milton. So we okay to use the town postage for the thank you cards to go out for people who's helped us with the donations that we want to send thank you cards. So it was brought to my attention today that that's going to be about $20 or around there. Not it's not a significant amount, but it was brought to my attention that they want to send out. The committee wants to know if they can also use the postage. It'll be about another $20, but they want to ask the select board to send out donation letters to all the businesses in town, and like maybe Frisbee Memorial Hospital. They're usually a big contributor, to see if we can get some more donations to finish the field, and they want to know if they can use the postage to send those letters out. So, your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with that as long as there's no legal issue with us. I'm soliciting using town funds. There's a question we might ask Jim Sessa, make sure there's no issue.
Sure, if you don't mind checking. And if it isn't an issue, is it? What is your
I was going to say
thoughts?
I don't have a problem with that, providing it's not an issue.
So between the thank you letters and the postage for the donation letters, it'll be around $50. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, okay.
Just have it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask
Jim.
him.
Mhm.
Do we know, does recreation have a postage line in recreation budget?
In recreation?
Yeah.
Mm.
How much is in it?
Yeah, check. You got it right there. I mean, the town will receive probably 10 times fold
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
on these donation letters that are going to be sent out. The town will probably
They
receive
do,
10 times
recreation
fold.
does have a $200 recreation postage budget, and they get about $160 left, so.
You know what? I don't mind using the recreation budget line item for the postage. We've already agreed to send the thank you cards with the town postage, so you can X that, and we'll use the postage line in the recreation.
Shouldn't I still check though about the solicitation letters coming though on the town postage?
Okay, yeah, that's
I think I
fine.
just
Thank
gotta
you.
be careful.
Yeah, that's fine. And if he says it's fine, then we'll just use that line item.
Okay.
I have a question, if I could.
Yeah,
You're talking about thank you cards for the ball field?
yeah.
I designed and made and donated 40 of them already, and I'm willing to do the rest of them. Now, if we have an issue with stamps, and we don't have the money for the town to cover them, I'm sure that maybe we'll find a way.
Yeah, well, we've already
Yeah,
said that we would
Okay, all right.
send the thank you letters, and thank you for making the cards, John, I appreciate it, because it's nice to show our appreciation to the people who have helped us. And, so, we've already said, the board already agreed that we would pay for the stamps, for the thank you cards.
Well, again, I can't emphasize, you've been paying for the stamps right along. So this isn't something new. It's something that we want to change, do we or don't we?
No, Michelle brought it to my attention tonight that we agreed already.
That's
And,
right.
and that's fine.
That's what I'm
But she
saying.
wanted to, make sure that, for the donation letters, if the town would be willing to use the stamps for the donation letters. But Karen can take it out of her recreation line, but, for stamps.
Yeah, it's not a matter of the money, John, it's just a matter, we'll make sure
That's
that,
right.
we wanna make sure that we can legally use that for soliciting donations.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any problem with that, but I just wanna make sure so we don't get in trouble doing it.
So, so that's that. I was just gonna bring up, this room, where we keep our mail.
Mm-hmm.
We have, the tax clerk is running out of space. She's came to me, and, she has some filing cabinets that are in the Rachel's office,
Yeah, the
the
welfare office,
welfare office, and she needs to get them out of there. So Pat was down here one day, and we just was going through the building, and he just came up with an idea that, we could move our mail slots into where the restrooms are here, and he could put a little wall there, and she could move the cabinets into that room, because these cabinets are full of
Tax ballots, election stuff.
election ballots,
Yep.
so they need to be, I guess, locked up. And I just asking, throwing it out there. What's your thoughts on giving her that little bit of space?
For storage, I see no problem with that. I mean, there's no reason, we can't move I see no reason we can't move the postage machine and what's in that, the time clock, somewhere else. That'd be convenient, so I'm fine with that.
What do you think, Mike?
She only uses every time, she only needs to get in there every time it's an election, right?
Yeah, well, this time was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I mean, periodically she has to go in there for whatever reason, into the election stuff. It's just, they really didn't want to put them, I guess, downstairs where the humidity is a little bit higher. This is one option. I didn't know, just throwing it out there.
So that would be basically a closet. This question I got for Chief.
It was running through my mind, but I can't give you an answer right now.
No, the question I would have is that being a closet and there being one door, where the time clock is, would there need to be another means of egress? Two ways.
I'd have to look at it. But yeah, not so much the closet, I'm worried about the other exit from Kim's area.
Well, that's not gonna be
And from
closed
the-
off.
And from the stairs.
The wall, I think what he's talking about is putting the wall on this side of the stairs.
Yeah.
Across.
It's gonna be on
Leave
this
it-
side of the stairs, so of course you can still go up to the attic.
But if the file cabinets are in there, she's gonna have it locked all the time.
She's gonna have this door out here locked in the hallway.
Right.
I'd have to look at it. Too much to
All right.
run through my mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
See
good
what he's
thought.
talking about, and I'll look at the codes and match it all up.
Because you're right, with Kim's second means of egress is to go through that door and out to where her main would be going down by the town administrator.
It has to do with distances and everything, so she might not need it, but where it's there, I'd have to figure it out. Once you let me know what you're gonna do, and I'll figure out what you can and can't do from that, as far as exits and egresses and stuff.
Okay.
And this
You-
would also would give her some extra room, because she is running out of room in her office in there. So,
Can you work with
yeah,
Chief Marie, can
yeah, definitely.
let him know what we're doing, because I didn't think about the Kim coming out the other way. I was thinking with somebody in there, how they're gonna get out. But,
We'll figure it
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
all right, appreciate it.
It's possible, I just gotta look at it.
All right.
So we're not getting ourselves into a situation.
Yeah, no, agreed.
There's no really good way in her area anyway. It's a lose-lose.
Hmm.
She actually has 3 exits. That back door, she has her office because there's a means of egress there, and of course out the front door here.
Right. So, anything else?
And the last thing I have really was the fire station. I know that you said that we were gonna look into selling it.
Yeah, I got that on.
You got it, okay,
Some
good.
talk about that,
All right,
yeah.
very good. That's it.
Mike?
So, not a lot happening with the budget committee. We didn't have a real loud meeting. Of course, then we have no budgets in front of us, but we spent a long time looking over graphs and a better way to look at the paperwork.
Okay.
That's about it. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Again, to echo that with Mike on the planning board, we have a meeting tomorrow night. We didn't have one since the last meeting. And I will talk about this Moose Mountain thing tomorrow night. I know one of the things I talked about was a social media policy, and there are workshops coming up for New Hampshire Municipal Association on November 16th and 17th. The one that addresses social media happens to be on the 16th, and it's at 10:45 in the morning. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, yeah. And, it's available to,
Municipal officials,
yeah.
employees.
Are you planning on going?
I'm going.
You're going? Okay. It's on Wednesday, the 16th.
I think Kathy's going.
Yes.
Social media, you are? Okay. I don't know if either one of you can make it.
I'm going.
Middle of the week like that is kind of tough for me.
Yeah.
Wednesday's not your good day, is it?
It's my day off.
Is your day off?
Yeah, I told Kim I probably would be interested in going.
Okay, yeah, if you want to go and bring back whatever information you can on social media policy and basically address, should we have one? Does it already exist? I use it effectively, things like that, so be interesting. I'd love to go, but I don't think I'll be able to make it on middle of the week. Next thing I got on Selectmen's comments is got to do with TPPA, Three Ponds Protective Association. And I got an email from Steve Baker. I'm not sure if he's the president of the association or not. It's a copy of the email. Basically, he is asking the board to consider TPPA. You can have that copy if you want it. Consider putting them on a budget together for them. As you know, we are facing European NIAID that's got to be eradicated one way or another. They also have a lot of lake monitoring they're doing, so all this stuff costs money. They're just asking us, they're gonna come and talk to the board, but he just sent me an email asking if we would consider a budget for them, if we could put something together and, present it to the budget committee and see where it goes. I think something like this probably would be best suited in the Conservation Commission's budget, so maybe we should be talking to them as well and putting it in that budget. So, if the board agrees.
I definitely agree. Without that lake,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're nothing, we're just in a
Nothing.
little town.
so we need to do something.
Okay.
Did they give any indication about how much of the budget
He
they're
was
looking
saying
at?
on the bottom here, UNH has informed us that the cost for the program for TPPA will $1861 next year. And it says, can you see that this item is forwarded to the budget committee? Let me know what additional information they would like, they required, so. Maybe, when's your next budget meeting, Mike?
It's Thursday, it's the wrong date up here, I don't know. What's the next budget meeting?
Today's the third, so it'll be
Read
the,
down 3 Tuesdays. 16.
No, I got the wrong month up here. 3 Tuesdays? 18th 15th maybe?
That sounds about right.
So,
Can you bring us a budget meeting and, yeah, see what they're.
Yep.
Appreciate that, thank you. Next, just a question, I know I had asked at the last meeting if we could get a copy of all permits and such, so we can review them, and I'm just curious how we make it out on that.
We need to remind people.
Okay, you can send a friendly reminder that we want a copy of all permits, so we can take a look at them and find out where they are and what needs to be strengthened up. The next item I have on the selectmen's comments, I'm gonna take one pass that down, Mike, please. And this is to do with the old fire station. I had asked to, at the last meeting, to consider what we're gonna think about doing to that. Are we gonna repurpose it, sell it, auction it, what are we gonna do? So I asked Kathy to send me a copy of the assessing card, and it's got a total assessed value, and this includes property, features, and land of $105,000. So I mean, that really doesn't mean a lot. I just want to know what the board wants to do, or what you're considering doing. Or have you thought of any other uses for it in town, or do you want to just sell it?
It still has all the issues it had before.
It does, that's
So
true.
it'd be sold with issues.
Oh yeah, absolutely, sold as
If
is.
sold,
Yeah,
so, I don't
Yeah.
know, we got time to think about it.
yeah. I just don't want to wait till the last minute, and then Nick says, I'm moving in a new fire station next week, and here you go, the building's yours.
I mean, really, he'll be out of there in a few months, you know?
So I mean, we do,
So-
no, Mike's right, we do have a little time, but I just, if we can keep this on the forefront of our mind, do we want to get it appraised? Get an appraised done. I don't know what the cost for an appraisal will be, or do we have anybody?
Do we have any other properties we're starting to bundle together for an auction?
We're starting to talk about getting a list together, and we're working on that.
Okay.
I
seems to
did
be
ask,
an issue.
I did ask that question earlier, and unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of properties like we did
Yeah.
when we had our
Right,
auction. We only
right.
had
And
six.
we actually only had 4 this time around, and only 3 of them actually are still there. One of them's gone back.
Oh, okay.
So we've done very well.
As far as,
Yeah,
turning back.
Michelle's
at
doing
the-
a good job with it.
so we just gotta get a comprehensive list.
But I mean, a building like this, where it's located and such, more locality than the building itself. I think we should have it looked at, find out what the value is of it.
Location,
Location, exactly. Not a good location for a fire station, but
Right, yeah.
for something else, maybe.
Is any realtors in town
Any what?
any realtors that live in town that
We got
would,
one on the Economic Development Committee.
Yes.
what, Cubby?
Yeah.
Cubby. Yes, maybe she could.
I wonder if she'd be interested in just looking at it and giving a rough estimate, maybe.
The next meeting on.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could ask her next meeting, she can, yeah, great. Yes, John?
You have interest in the public on that building that I'm aware of.
We do have
Yes,
interest
you do.
of someone purchasing it, or,
Yes.
okay. I'm not aware of it.
There are.
I am now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, all right, good, that's good to know. Next, I talked about putting a warrant article. I know it's a little early for this, and some of this stuff you'll find on here, I repeat, is just to keep it fresh in front of me. And renewable energy incentives, putting a warrant article together. Just to kind of keep in front of us, I think we should look at putting a warrant article together for that, for the public. Next up on the agenda, something we did quite a few years ago. I'll pass these on to you guys down here. I'd like to reinstitute something to this. And it is a selectmen's agenda request form. It's the same request form we've had all along. The only thing I did is change the title, because it used to say citizens selectmen meeting request form, something like that. I would like to see anybody, whether it be the 3 of us, the public, department heads, departments, anybody that wants to get on the agenda, fill out one of these things so we can know what with what we're looking at when we get here. One of the things, and I'm guilty of it just as much as anybody, is we'll be sitting here talking about something, and I might have something on the agenda, and the other two say, "What you talking about?" With something like this, at least give an idea of what is on the agenda, and we could kind of, and again, like, it's 8:30 by 11. I think it'd be more professional for the board to really have a good insight of what's going on, so I'd like to adopt something like that with the board's permission, if we could.
Have at it.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, so I'm going to ask, I'll email to Heather. Like I said, the only change I made is the top title. Instead of just citizens, I just selectmen's agenda request form, so I can go to all departments, all department heads, and the boards, committees, so forth. So I'll email it to you tomorrow if you can just kind of get it out to whatever you can. Thank you, guys. Up next, and I only put this on there because this came in my email today, and I'm not sure who got it, who didn't. There's a notification from Primex, from Kyle Weber at Primex, basically saying starting April 2017, there's going to be a new process of reporting for unemployment compensation. What they're asking, I think, just reading this quickly, is instead of going through Primex, report directly to unemployment. So, the state. There is a website, and it could, I don't know if Kim does this or who does that. I'm sure Kim does.
Kim would be the one to.
I don't know if
So-
she got it, but I know there's a workshop on it.
Yeah, so if, I'll give you another copy for Kim, and if we can just make sure that we're all ready for that when that comes into place. One more item. And this one is something I've been thinking about for a while, and it's just more or less my thoughts. It basically talks about our jobs. And what I mean by that is all of us, whether we're elected, hired, appointed, committee, what have you, we all have one job. That's to serve the public. And how we do that job is up here, the three of us, we serve the public as being selectmen. You know, sometimes making the tough decisions, reviewing things like this. Town administrator does her job, serves the public by being a town administrator, department heads, fire chief as being that. So I think sometimes we all forget, and I'm not saying we forget that we serve the public, I'm saying we forget that that is our ultimate goal, that's our ultimate job, is to serve the public. And how we do it is the position we have. So that's my rant, that's my soapbox. That's all I have to say. Public comments. Mr. Coward.
Wasn't here at the last Board of Selectmen's meeting, and I would like to ask some help from you three gentlemen for the
Okay.
next 3 months.
Okay.
It's really critical to me. I need some real attention, maybe every selectmen's meeting, to bring it up and just discuss it, if nothing else.
Okay.
As you're all aware of, each and one, all three is, we have 2 public notices on the board today waiting for, you brought it up at the last meeting, and that's to do with the Milton Mills Cemetery Association.
Yep.
So that we can get that done by year end.
Yep.
We can't dilly-dally around, we've
No,
got to get that done.
that's one of the things that got lost, and I did call Heather today, I said that was, I know, I'm sorry, I didn't talk to Heather because she wasn't here today, she was at a meeting, and,
This morning.
yeah, it was this afternoon. That I thought was supposed to be on today for a public hearing.
Okay.
It's one of the things that the computer wiped away.
Okay,
and
all right. I'm
so-
just
But
running it
yeah,
out
no,
there
it's
so
got
that we don't.
But we're gonna make sure it's on our next meeting,
Okay,
public hearing.
yeah. And the next item is, we're all very aware of you three gentlemen, what we're up against right now with the legal system with the Prospect Hill Cemetery. And I'm gonna beg and plead you to do the same thing with that one.
Yep.
I don't wanna go through the exercise I've just gone through. I'm not complaining, I'm here to help.
Yeah, no,
But when you sign yourself up to go ahead of the Conservation Department or the Planning Board to do a presentation, and don't go there and do it, I go because I wanna make sure it happens, And that may not be legal, I'm not sure of that. But I did go there and I did do what Mike was supposed to do. And I don't know the reasons, I don't really care, other than there was no show, and that kind of upsets me when I see things like that, especially at the end of the year. The job's gotta get done somehow, please.
Yeah, no, I agree with John. I mean, I had every intention of doing a planning board one, but unfortunately I was on the shelf for a little bit.
Again, I went ahead,
Yeah.
I did the presentation,
we
I gave
appreciate
you gentlemen the presentation to do. I went there and the job is done, water over the dam, but now we got others ahead of us.
Yes, we
We're
do.
waiting right now for you gentlemen to get set up on the conservation and the planning board again to do the same thing. Please help me.
So I think it was on a Thursday. You all know that I don't plan
Yeah.
anything on a Thursday, so if the conservation continues to have it on a Thursday night, I'm gonna withdraw myself from the conservation.
They do it on Thursday nights?
I don't know, I know the last time it was on a Thursday night,
Okay.
I couldn't be there. But if they continue on Thursday nights, then, and you both know that Thursday nights are just out for me.
Right, I know Thursday nights, so you can't.
I made that
Well,
public
again,
too.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
We all have commitments. If you can't make it, please assign the next one to come in.
Right.
We all voted not too long ago to put Andy in as a liaison to cemetery business.
Mhm.
Maybe he should be doing them all, whether it's conservation, planning, whatever it may be. Maybe he should be doing it.
What do you think, Andy?
Thanks, Andy.
I told my wife we didn't have any forest committee meetings for a little bit because unfortunately we don't have anybody. And she goes, "Oh, phew, you're going to be home for dinner. That's nice." But
I'm just looking for help.
Yep, no, I hear you,
John,
John.
I mean, that's all I need. I mean, if you want to sign me to take these roads over, I don't have a problem
Yeah.
doing it. Just
For
vote
the,
for it, give me
yeah.
the authority.
no, we'll talk about it. We'll get through it. And no, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Okay,
Yeah, no, we will have that on, the public hearing on the 17th.
thanks.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
One more item. So you'll all be aware, when it comes through the town within the next week or two, you're gonna see big 4x8 signs, one at the Veterans Park and one at the elementary school to promote this renovation of this softball field.
Mm-hmm.
We got approval through Brian Boyd, we got approval through the school board to put it up there, so
Okay.
I'm in the process of painting them and having them letter it next week.
Yep. And I did take a ride, looked at that. That field looks nice.
Nice, huh?
Yeah, it really is nice. The grass that's coming in, very nice. So, good job. Anything else, John?
That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ryan?
Ryan Debo here. With your earlier vote on to pursue legal actions on the barn next to Cumberland Farms,
Yep.
you guys mentioned it was a safety concern.
That falls under a very specific RSA. It's for dilapidated buildings, I believe was RSA 155. Yeah, I mean, we have to make sure when we take action on anything like that, there is a state statute that covers it. Otherwise, we'll get ourselves in trouble. That is very specific on dilapidated buildings.
So if you're concerned with the safety of a building falling down, how is that different from a wall falling down?
Again, RSA 155B deals strictly with dilapidated buildings.
So in the code book, there's a section 2 that refers to retaining walls, which I've mentioned in the past, and this has to do
Is there a
with the
state statute, Ryan?
retaining wall behind Three Pond Auto.
Yeah, is there a state statute that deals with that? I don't know.
State has adopted the code,
So,
and every time it's mentioned, I get, which I've heard from Mike and I've heard from Brian, the code book's too thick. I don't understand what's so hard about opening the thick book and looking through it to study up on the code and the requirement. So
because the code, number one, we have to have a state statute to back it. And if it's, I'm not saying there is, I'm not a code officer, I don't know. But I'm saying, if there's no state statute to back any action we take, it's illegal. We just can't do it. So we have to make sure, number one, there's a state statute to back it. I mean, this is a, how do they call that? Not a home rule state. No, we can't make our own rules. We have to make sure we have a state statute that backs what we do and say.
So I guess I'll just leave it at this. If you just were talking about earlier about serving the public,
Mhm.
and you have a public establishment down the road, that has a history of a wall that's higher than the
Yeah.
building falling down.
Well,
and
that's
landing
actually not a public establishment, it's a private establishment.
Private establishment,
Yeah.
open to the public though.
It's a business.
It's a business.
Yep.
And you have cars parking underneath that wall, potentially every day, children getting in and out of their cars, people getting in and out of their cars. And it could come down at any time, and the town doesn't want to pursue anything or even seem to look into it.
It's not that
So
we don't
I'll
want,
just
it's not that
leave
we
it at
don't
that.
want to. If there's no state statute to support it, we can't.
It's a safety hazard.
We can't, just because something falls, that can be deemed as a safety hazard, doesn't mean there's a state statute to
It
support
was a
it.
wall that was put up without a permit. So I'll just leave it at that.
Anyone else?
My second thing
Yes, I'm sorry.
is I turned in a 91A form August 23rd. I was told to turn it in again on the 14th by Heather. I received a letter the last selectman meeting. And it still doesn't address all the things that have been asked. It lacks, it was very specific in here, stating that I was requesting to see copies of complaints. And when I came in and spoke to the building inspector, he stated that verbal complaints do not get documented in any way, and he doesn't have to. And the reason this is done is because he can do it, it's his department, he can do what he wants. And in my letter from the town, it says nothing about the complaints. Didn't address that at all. And it also states in here, I'll just read this one sentence. I have discussed with the sign permit in your entire letter with our town attorney. So I don't know if we're talking the sign permits now or what, but it doesn't make much sense.
I think the town attorney gave you that letter and you talked to him that night, so there's nothing else I can say other than the fact that you had a conversation with the attorney that night, and we've responded appropriately to your 98-1A request. We have to provide you with the information we have. That's the end of it. That's all I can say, Ryan.
So my question to the Board of Selectmen is, if I want an answer in writing on how the town deals with complaints, how do I go about getting that? Because when I asked for the process, I can't seem to get an answer, I can't seem to get any document. How do I get that in writing?
Complaints, we have a complaint form. If the complaint form is filled out, it needs to be addressed. If it's somebody comes up and says, I don't like the color of that building as a complaint, I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, it's not important, but if it's not in writing, it's hard to document it. Because then you're getting, he said, she said type scenario, and that's why we try to put as much as we can in writing, complaint forms in writing.
So do I need to turn this RSA into a complaint form? Is that what I need to do? Because I asked this when I did it the last time, and I was
Okay,
told
when
to turn it
you
in
said
again
this RSA, do you
as
mean
a
this,
RSA 91A form,
all,
sorry.
okay, right, no.
I was told I had to turn it in again, because I wasn't specific enough. So I did, and I typed up a whole page and attached the previous ones.
Okay.
So do I need to turn it into a
RSA
written
91A,
complaint?
RSA 91A states that if you ask for information, written information, we must provide what we have. In other words, if we don't have it in a written form, if it's not a public document in a written form, there's no way we can provide it to you. If it's just somebody that made a verbal complaint and a verbal answer was given, there's no way of providing that. Because again, it gets into a he said, she said scenario, and that's why we ask. If it's a written complaint and you get a written response, then it becomes a document.
So I guess I need to turn this into a written complaint.
You can do that.
And my final and last thing is, the document I was requesting could not be found, and it was stated that it was being looked into. Has there been any luck in finding that document?
I'm not even sure what document you're talking about.
The sign permit for Mackenzie's Farm Stand.
I know it's being reviewed and being looked into now. I don't know any further than that. I've heard no new news on that reason. I know it is being looked into. So, okay? Thank you, Ryan. Anybody else? Chief?
So next Thursday at 6 p.m., the police department and the fire department are going to be having our volleyball game against the
girls volleyball team up at the high school. So anybody that wants to come, watch us all get our butts kicked like we do every single year.
When, next what?
Next Thursday.
Next
At
Thursday.
6 p.m. at the high school.
Can't make it, I'm working.
It's a lot of fun for
13?
For the officers, yes, for the officers and for the firefighters. We get to be seen in a much different light.
Yep. I think I went to the last one, yeah.
Last year we missed. We didn't get to do it last year, but we've done it.
Wasn't it a basketball game that was,
We did the basketball game 2 years ago.
that's what I went to, yeah.
That was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna say that, Chief, but yeah.
We can all admit that our athletic prowess went away a long time ago.
At 6 p.m.
We beat Lebanon Fire in baseball the other day.
Yeah.
I was sore for 3 days.
I, for one, will be there.
And then next Friday, as the three of you are aware, and Heather as well, Officer Nurjanakis is receiving an award for his actions from the fatal vehicle fire earlier.
And that's in Concord at
That's in
6 p.m.
Concord at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
At the Police Standards and Training Academy.
Yep. And I will be there as well.
That's awesome. It's a well-deserved award, for
Very
sure.
much so. Anyone else? Mr. Brown?
Larry Brown, it has been suggested that 8.5 by 11 would make a good tombstone for me, and there are some who are willing to take up an early collection.
Nope.
I'll be one, but on other things, the 1802 house, which is directly opposite Index Packaging, wonderful restoration work has started on that. They're working on the sills. The reason I mention that is that, as Mike said, the present firehouse has location. It is a viable commercial property with parking on two levels with front and rear access. And rehabbing it is no different than the effort of rehabbing an 1802 structure. Just to keep in mind the value of
Which is
that.
not something the town wants to undertake.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is someone else would.
Right, I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
so just because it has horse hair in the walls is no reason to downgrade it. But the more important thing is spaghetti dinner at Newt. Milton Matters did it. The school district has done their presentation. Cafe Services puts on a delightful spread, and I hope a lot of people can come. And on that social media, it is really disturbing that people on social media will disregard the entire work of the volunteers, of their time, effort, and sweat to put the field together and concentrate on, well, you know, we're going to have to put sprinklers in and that. And so I have a suggestion for a new social media page, and it would be called Our Wakefield Home. And we can put it out so we can offer to a town that we don't live in the same expert opinion that comes into us.
Okay, Larry. You do know there will be a response. So, I'm not going to say anything. I just want to say there will be a response.
So you are reading Facebook, Larry?
No. No, I'm beyond
I'll tell you later.
any server attack. No.
Okay.
But anyway, just the
But though I do agree with you as far as not showing proper recognition to the volunteers and the put countless hours in and, you know, go out and give their time and effort and in some instances financial money, what have you, and do not get the recognitions but can be criticized for the smallest things. I mean, that just...
Like I said, to this day, there's $50,000 donated to the kids of Milton to build that field. To you know, the legacy will move on now there. I mean, before it was a dust hole. Look at it today. I mean, it's beautiful. There was maybe 5 people that, I mean, there's more than 5. I shouldn't say that, because we had a big, we did the calendar, sold a lot of calendars, but Fred Cameron, $25,000 he donated to that field. So and there's others that donate a lot. I'm not going to get back into it, but it's just these people make a difference here in a little community.
This has been a big year, a very big year for a lot of donations, a lot of things done with the playground, with the beach restructuring, and just been a lot of stuff. I mean, playground was what, last year? Earlier this year, last year, probably. Yeah, and you got the basketball court. There's been a lot of things done lately that a lot of people deserve a lot of good recognition for.
The townhouse. I mean, it's beautiful. I went in there for the first time this week. It's beautiful in there. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yes, John.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rowe, for bringing up that spaghetti dinner. That's a fundraiser for this restoration field.
Yep. When is that?
Yeah, I said it.
Did you give a date?
I said a date. It's
12.
October 12th at 6 p.m. All proceeds, again, will directly go to the new ball field.
Sorry, Andy, I missed that.
No problem. Suggested donations, $5 for adults, $3 for kids, but,
And where is that going to be?
At the high school.
At the high school.
And the girls softball team is putting this spread on, so.
Well, this leaves 2 things. Let's see. On the 12th, I'm being fed at 6 there. On the 13th, Chief?
You're gonna come and watch the comedy show.
I know, but am I going to get fed while I'm there?
No, we're just giving you the comedy show, that's about it.
Okay. I'm just trying to, plan my meals out, that's all.
I was thinking of that, we'll talk.
So, all right. Great, thank you. Yes, Nick?
You want a quick update on the fire station?
Please.
Sheet rock started last week, and basically the interior, the roughing's about done. I'd say 90% done, if I were to guess. The sheet rock's on one side of all the interior walls. Mud and tape in the apparatus bay is ongoing, so there's probably another couple weeks of that. Insulation's going in. Everything's fine, everything's on track. SUR is going to be doing the site work next week. And with that comes the final coat of pavement and the hydro seeding. And things are moving ahead nicely. So
Nice. It looks nice. Looks nice.
Nothing but compliments. So.
Yep.
The flag looks beautiful.
Yes, it
So.
does.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
I know at one point you had thought about a weather vane on top of that of some sort. Is that still something you're considering?
Yeah. Yep. We find the right one to get up there and, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anyone else? Not hearing any. I'm going to close public comments. And
I have one last thing. I forgot.
you have one
to,
last thing?
Yeah. Somebody, Suzanne Brown actually made a donation of some voter stickers. And I just want to bring this to your attention, and if you want me to make a motion to accept
Sure.
her
You
donation
have a value?
of it was $20, but
No, that's
it's
fine.
very very
The only
much.
reason I asked is anything over 5,000, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, certain.
So thank you can
I
thank
just saw Larry get pale.
thank Suzanne for the stickers for the election. So,
Motion to accept it, and you made a motion, Mike seconded it?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome, thank you, Suzanne. Anything else from anybody? Motion to adjourn?
No, we go back to non-public. something I need to discuss.
Okay. All right, what, I would say we're going on under.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.